this is Steve Tolin and Kyle Roberts with Squib FX. Today we're going to do a little demo on how to put one of our bullet hit rigs on your actor. Alright, so let's first look at what is going to come in one of these kits and the parts that we're going to be using. First off, obviously we've got a bullet hit rig. This one here is the Tarantino, featuring a 12-ounce air tank. We've got a composite plastic solenoid valve and some vinyl and latex tubing to fire the blood out of, and a little hardwired trigger here that either your actor can detonate or you can detonate for them. We've got an elastic and Velcro holster to hold the rig onto the body of the performer, some elastic and Velcro bracing to help cinch the tubing down, elastic and Velcro wrist brace to hold the wire in place in case your performer is going to be firing the bullet hit rig themselves, and we've got some Velcro attachments to attach the rig to the shirt, and a syringe to fill the tubing up with some blood. Some of the pieces that you'll need that do not come with the rig: a air pump that has a gauge on it. That's important. An air gauge is important. You'll want some scissors. I work with a wet rag because you get blood everywhere. Obviously you'll need some stage blood. This is a standard corn syrup blood mixture mixed with about 50-50 blood mixture to water to make it thin enough to spray, and some gloves just so you don't get blood all over yourself. And of course you'll need a piece of costuming for your actor. So let's put this on him. The first thing you want to determine is where the bullet hit is going to be placed. That means where the blood is going to be squirting out. I would say 90% of the time it's going to be center mass on the front of your actor or on the back of your actor. It usually comes from the body. For demonstration purposes, we're going to shoot Kyle right in the heart. I've got him wearing an undershirt. It's a good idea to have your actor wearing an undershirt because you're going to put a back brace on them and it helps to make it a little more comfortable. You don't absolutely need it, but it certainly is more comfortable for the actor. So you just stand behind him. In this case, we're going to put the rig on his back so that we can't see it on camera, and ask your actor to grab the back brace and pull it as tight as they're comfortable with. And they just lash it down, and if you turn around for me, Kyle, and that puts a holster in the center of his back. So let's grab the rig and put it on. Okay, so this is the rig again that we're going to put on his back. You definitely want to fill the air chamber with air before you put any blood in the tube, just in case a little air burps through, it doesn't splat blood prematurely. You want to make sure that your air is loaded first. You can either do that when it's off of your actor, you just pump some air in through the Schrader valve, or you can do it when it's on your actor. Let's do that just so that you can see what that situation is like, and also because this is most likely how you would refill in between takes, is while it was on your actor. So you just bring your bike pump over, and you slide the air tank into the holster, like so. And you ask your actor to please hold this switch so that it doesn't fire early. You can just let this tube dangle. We don't need that yet. It's got no blood in it. We're in no danger of spilling anything. And yet, will you take a knee for me there, Kyle? And you just pump this up like you would your bike tire. We're going to put 30 pounds in here, I'd say. Pretty much every pump with this particular pump gives you about 10 pounds. So we're a hair above 30 there. And you can stand up, please, Kyle. So now he's got air in the chamber, and if he were to fire the trigger, it would let the air rush out of the valve into the tube. So obviously anything that's in the tube that's in the way is going to go squirting out, and that's how we get our bullet hit. So the next step then is to give their performer their costume, and it's best if they put their costume on while they're holding the trigger in their hand. I don't know why, but I always feel compelled to help them get dressed once they're wearing a rig. Where that's going to land. We can do this on the outside of his shirt at first and decide just where we want this to be. I feel like that's going to be pretty good here. And we're going to land it right, again, to use the visual confusion of this shirt, and you can get that in all kinds of different forms. Hawaiian shirts, shirts with vertical stripes, even something that has vertical stripes that are just slightly one shade of blue from one another. Anything you can do to help break up the surface. A pocket in a pocket tee is great. You know, a lot of the vertical fluting in like tuxedo shirts is great. Anything you can do to not have a totally stark, blank, solid color surface to fire it out of. So once you determine where that's going to be, obviously we're going to need a hole for the blood that's coming out of here to be able to get through this shirt And now is when I determine, while I'm deciding what the location is going to be, where that hole is going to be. We're going to put it right there. Use a pair of scissors here. Oh, watch your finger there, Kyle. Make a little snip. And this is going to be just a vertical slit. And it's going to be about half of the total. This height, this vertical height, is about half of the total vertical height of this piece, and the horizontal, which is how we're going to have it actually, of this direction. What that's going to do, because that hole is too small for all the blood to get out, a lot of the blood is going to stay inside the shirt, and it's going to create energy that causes the shirt to lift up, but then allow, probably 80% of the blood is going to escape the shirt, 20% of the blood or so will stay in the shirt. That is always going to be determined by how big of a hole you have cut in the tubing. So the next step then, we use one of these Velcro, sticky back Velcro pieces that come with the rig, and these are easy to make. It's just a piece of loop Velcro cut in a circle with a little diamond cut out of it. And that diamond is going to sit just center, and I feel it with my finger as I'm setting it, because you don't want to disturb this fabric any more than you have to. Nice. With a shirt like this, if you do have lines, you got to make sure that whenever the Velcro is attached, that all those lines line up, or that'll give the game away straight off. So we just massage that in there a little bit. And then I'm going to lift this shirt all the way, will you turn around, all the way above the rigging here, so that I can see that, will you turn back around again? That when this tubing sits just where he's going to get shot, what happens with this tubing? Because the number one thing with this effect, will you turn around, being successful, is to make sure that you don't have any kinks in the tube. So this is all pretty much perfect for Kyle. We've got a slow, gradual curve here, an even slower, more gradual curve as it comes down around his body. Step around again. And then it slowly comes up to his chest. This is going to cause it to allow all the blood to rush right out, which is exactly what we want. However, because of the pressure and the fluid in here, right now this whole hose is going to jump. And so what you'll see then is this whole shirt will jump up, and you'll see this hose the second before the bullet hit actually goes off. Or you'll see this piece of hose just poking out from underneath his arm in the scene before he actually gets shot. So the solution to both of those things is this second piece of elastic and Velcro. So what we'll do is we'll slide this shirt up, and we'll step around behind Kyle again. Can we hold that too? Our goal is for this to lie just naturally over where this hole is. Right now, it clearly is not going to do that. So we have to rotate our tube. And right now, I'm going to find the center of this hole that we created. And I'm going to lay the whole of this latex right over the top of that hole. So right now, because of the tension of this latex, it's causing the shirt to come up. So obviously all we do to fix that is pull the latex tubing down. Now, that will create some kink situations. So you just got to walk it back around. And in this circumstance, we're just going to pull the vinyl this direction a little bit. And that gets rid of our kink here. And let's lay the shirt down. I feel like I'm seeing that tube still a little more than I would like to. So I'm going to slide all of this even a little further back. Pull that tube up a little bit higher. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And we still have a little bit of a cloth distortion there. And again, that's going to be fixed by pulling this latex down just a tiny bit. Nice. And now as Kyle moves, will you move your stuff around a little bit? The hit moves with the shirt instead of with his body, and that causes the distortions to be a lot less than what they would be otherwise. What we've got in Kyle's air chamber is about 30 pounds of air pressure. So for a very realistic bullet hit, you want to use about 30 pounds of air pressure and about 60 cc's of blood. That will still leave a lot of air in the tube and cause like kind of a misty sort of bullet hit. If you want a denser, more globular kind of bullet hit, you would either add more blood or lower the pressure in the tank, or both. but for kind of a realistic bullet hit, you're looking for about 30 psi and about 60 cc's. So you just dip it down in your blood here and fill up to 60. And this is very important, especially if you're talking about you're going to shoot somebody in a tuxedo. You have got to wipe all the blood off at the tip of this. So we'll take our syringe here, and slide it right in through that hole, and very slowly inject the blood into the tube. Once the tubing is filled up, you slowly tilt the syringe over to make sure you don't drop any blood. And clean off the tip of this just so you don't go dripping it on his costume. And that's all looking pretty good. So normally if the actor was going to wear it on his wrist, he would have a long sleeve shirt. With a short sleeve, you would either mount the trigger, you would run it down in his shirt and run it and mount it on his pants, or run it out the back of his shirt and somebody else could fire it for him. If you did have long sleeves and you do want to put it right in the actor's hands, which I suggest anytime that you can get away with it, here's how you do that. Put this in the other hand first. You're going to want to help him. You're going to take this narrow elastic and put that over his hand. And then this piece wraps around, and then before it makes a full loop, he puts the trigger in his hand. And this piece just wraps around and loops. And now that can slide away. You could have it further up his arm and totally up his sleeve. If this was on stage, he could run around wearing it for some time before he slid it out into his hand whenever he was ready to use the device. So if you could face that direction, Kyle. And I'll give this a 3, 2, 1, bang, and on bang, you get shot. 3, 2, 1, bang! And Kyle is clearly a zombie because he didn't go down. And this is what I'm talking about with so much of the blood stays in the shirt, and 80% of it comes out. And once again, I'm Steve Tolin and Kyle Roberts with Squib FX, and that's how you put a bullet hit rig on.